All right. So now that we got this update that I'm not a fan of, I'm not a fan of moving goalposts, y'all. I'm not a fan of taking things currently in the game and changing them. But now that we got it, we got to talk about a couple of commanders that all of a sudden got a huge buff. And we're going to talk about that because we're going to talk about the support tree and what that does and how the new update and the new adjustments to the talents are going to change some things. So stick around while we tell you who might be back and running better than ever right now. Hey everybody, I'm your boy War Daddy Chadsky. I do videos all the time for Rise of Kingdoms. I'm a sponsored Rise of Kingdoms content creator. And if you enjoy these types of videos, please throw a thumbs up on here. Really helps out the channel. And that almighty algorithm, they tell me, anytime we get interactions when it comes to these videos. Also, if you are not subscribed, consider doing so. It does not cost you a thing. And you can hit that bell for any alerts. When we do content like this, you can get updated and know what's going on. Well, we talked about it yesterday. And I am not a fan. Anybody that knows me knows that I am not a fan of the new update that came into the game yesterday. And one of the main reasons why is because they are doing an entire rebalancing on the talents. And the one of the things we wanted to talk about is how some of these talents are really enhancing some commanders, okay? So from there, we want to look at the support tree. All right. The support tree back in the day used to be so freaking good. Okay. Back in the day when we used to run, where is our boy Saladin? When we used to run Saladin, he had the support tree. And the two main things that were incredible with the support tree was loose formations. This commander's troops take 9% less skill damage of all types. Back in the day, that's all anybody did was skill damage. So it was really, really potent. And then emergency protection, all right? Whenever your commander's troop takes skill damage of any type, it has a 50% chance to reduce all incoming skill damage of any type by 15% for 3 seconds. There's no cooldown on this, okay? Well, now they've changed it. And over time, with the siege commanders and the combo commanders in the game, the support tree became obsolete. Nobody ran the support tree. The only commanders that we even have the support tree with right now that are even viable are Phillip, if you're going to run him primary with leadership gear, okay? Then we have Scipio, which nobody runs Ragnar Scipio anymore, or Scipio Ragnar. We have Joan, okay? Which people are going away from the skill damage cavalry, so not a lot of people are running Joan anymore. And then we've got Hermann. A lot of people still running Hermann in a 2-archer setup. Okay, they're running Chen YSG and Zuge Hermann. But now let's look at this over here when it comes to this new adjustment to the support tree. Emergency protection. Whenever this troop takes skill damage, now combo and smite, there's a 50% chance to take less skill, combo, and smite of any type for 3 seconds. Wait, what? That's that's one of those things you had to do a double take. You're like, wait a minute. Well, how does this translate? Okay. Well, all of a sudden the support tree, that's 15% less all damage. Because in the field, you're getting hit with skill, combo, smite, AoEs everywhere. And if you're doing 15% less, that's almost 15% less all damage. That's crazy. Now, all of a sudden, the support tree is back. In addition to that, loose formations, just the straight 9% less skill damage. Well, now it's skill, combo, and smite? What? What? Okay, so let's look at this. When we look at these support commanders, let's go down here to our boy Hermann, okay? Now, a buddy of mine, Evergreen, literally runs Hermann. He literally runs Hermann primary with Sun Tzu. He loves it. He runs the hell out of it, all the time. Well, now You're telling me that you can take 9% less skill damage, smite damage, and combo damage of all types. That's perpetual with loose formation. Holy, that's like 9% less all damage. That is crazy. And then over here, you're going to take 15% less skill, smite, and combo damage. And there's a 50% chance this is going to fire off. Well, you're getting hit all the time with AoE. So let's say it takes 2 seconds for this to fire off. Then you get 15% reduced incoming skill, smite, and combo damage for 3 seconds. So let's say you have an uptime of 3 seconds and a downtime of 2 seconds. You're running this literally 60% of the time. And if you take 15% times 3, that's 45% total, divided by 5 for the 5 seconds. So on average, you're going to be taking 9% less skill damage, smite damage, and combo damage on average per second. 9% less per second. Will you add this to loose formation? That's 18% less skill, smite, and combo damage every second. That's incredible. Holy jeez. Hermann might be back, y'all. You're running Zuge Hermann, you might really think about running Hermann Primary. Now, the skill damage commanders also got a little bit of a buff because when it comes to, where is this thing? Here it is, Heraldic Shield. So Heraldic Shield, you're going to take 6% less skill, smite, and combo now with the new update. Okay, so that's a little bit of a buff. Nothing crazy. All right, there's some effects to Naked Rage, but not a lot of people are going to run that if now you can take more damage, not just from skill damage, but for smite and combo. But just looking at this, okay, you get a little bit of a buff from Zuge, but you get a massive buff when it comes to Hermann. So all of a sudden now, Hermann Primary with Zuge, like, I've got a second archer set. I don't like to run it all. But if you're telling me I can make my March literally 18% tankier, because let's face it, y'all, outside of the white numbers and the counterattack that you take, skill damage, smite damage, and combo damage is basically all the damage you're taking. And if you mitigate that damage by 18% on average every second, that is crazy. So now all of a sudden, Hermann has got some viability being primary with Zuge. The support tree is back. And as much as I don't like the update, and I don't like them moving the goalposts on us, and they're buffing commanders and they're debuffing other commanders, I hate it. I think it's awful for the game. But if they're going to give it to us, then we got to figure out what's going to work. And I'm the guy that's going to tell you what's going to work. And now the support tree is back. Guys, the support tree used to be so good. People loved this thing. They used to love this thing. Because you got Rejuvenate. You only have to do 2 out of 3 on this. Because you're going to overrage in that 1 second that you're doing an active skill. But it's phenomenal. Rejuvenate is great. And then now you get the full benefit of loose formation and emergency protection like we used to get back in the day when everybody did skill damage. Holy, okay. Well, who else? You got Hermann. Well, I've got this gear right here for my leadership set, right? And I don't like to run it in the field. But now I can run with Phillip because Phillip has the support tree. I can make Phillip that much tankier. Okay. Let's think about that. Now I can run Phillip primary. You guys that are running leadership sets and putting Phillip primary with Zuge behind it, or I'm going to run it with BQ behind it because I'm running this stupid infantry set that's critted for leadership. And now all of a sudden we can run the support tree with Phillip. Let's go. Okay. And then, of course, I do not recommend this. Do not. But if you're still running Ragnar and Scipio, this is now the excuse you need to run Scipio primary with Ragnar behind. Okay? Because the support tree now is back to doing what it used to do when everybody used to love this thing. Super tanky. Okay? And if you are running Joan, you can still run Joan Phillip in the field if you still have a wedge set for cavalry. Not many people do. And now Joan is going to get the benefit of mitigating all the different troop damage or the damage types, the active skill types. So something to think about. The main play for this is obviously Hermann, right? Hermann is still used today. I would negotiate maybe using him now because he's so much tankier now after this update. And so now you're thinking Hermann Primary with Zuge secondary. All right. And now I'm thinking running Phillip Primary with BQ secondary because he's going to mitigate so much of that damage. Now, again, I do not condone this. I do not like this at all. I do not like changing talents, okay, and adding to things. And then, of course, you guys know how pissed off I am about them mitigating, where is it? Mitigating my martial mastery with my Attila. Like, I don't think it's going to be a huge deal to basically you're going to do 6% less combo damage. As long as you have the 6% more normal damage and you're running Arch with Attila, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. But I can't believe they got to nerf Attila again for the third time in 2026. Those of you who don't think Attila's any good, why the hell would they nerf him? Holy jeez. But now we're definitely in a situation to where we can run the support tree primary. That's just something to think about as you're running some marches out here, okay? And you've got a Hermann running behind ZL, or you've got a Phillip running with Zuge. You just got a big buff, bro. Not from Zuge, but you got a big buff from the support tree. It's back. It is back how it used to be back in the day, 4 and 5 years ago, when all the commanders did skill damage and you had this stuff going on that mitigated it. It made it so tanky. And now we can look at maybe running Hermann Primary again. And if you've held off on running 2 Archer marches, or you're running a ZL with Phillip, now you might think about running Hermann with Phillip or Hermann with ZL and then move Phillip somewhere else. There's all kinds of ways that you can do that. And I think that that's one of those things that we've got to think about when it comes to the support tree. We'll talk about the other trees too, okay? Because the defense tree also got a buff from this deal right over here, where this is now going to be 9% less skill damage, smite, and combo. Just on the defense tree for you-know-who. There's Gorgo. So now all of a sudden you've got some Garrison commanders that are going to get a lot tankier when it comes to going up against smite rallies and when it comes to going up against combo rallies with the defense tree. And hell, now you've got like situations with Xeno where the support. This is one of the reasons why Xeno was so broken for so many years, is because back when all the rallies did nothing but skill damage, she could mitigate so much skill damage. Well, now she can mitigate all the damage. And with the museum buff, who knows? Maybe Xeno comes back. Holy jeez, what are we doing? Anyways, that's something to think about when it comes to this update on some of the things that are going to happen in the game. That's why you guys like watching my channel. I start thinking about different things. I start having conversations in my Discord. If you want to join my Discord, the link is in the description. This conversation came up in my Discord. And this is why I wanted to bring it up here, because it's like, holy geez, you got emergency protection and loose formation in the support tree. Now, all of a sudden, they're mitigating like all damage, like everything. And even with the skill, okay, and the defense tree with loose formation. And then with combo, you've got an enhancement of Colossus and enhancement of Smite with the enhanced Smite. So you got some things in this different update that really I do not like. I don't like moving goalposts, y'all. I'm okay with them building goalposts. I'm okay with them announcing a new formation, right? That's fine. That's like building a new goalpost. We all start at 0. I'm okay with them giving us, awakenings? Okay, that's fine. That's a new goalpost. I'm okay with all that. I am not okay with them moving goalposts, and that's what they're doing here. They're literally changing the dynamics and the mechanics of commanders, and they're literally making some commanders buffed much better than other commanders that they're now nerfing. Like, that's some draconian stuff there, where they're literally making whatever subjective changes that they want with talents. And it really makes it hard for me to do content and tell you guys to plan your accounts. and tell you guys to go invest in certain commanders and certain gear and certain armaments if they're just going to change stuff. And that's what's so frustrating. But if they're going to do it, at least I'll be the guy to tell you, like, hey, the support tree's back. Get ready to run Hermann again. Get ready to run Phillip Primary. If you're still running Wedge with cavalry and you don't have the conversion stones to change over to another Delta set, then hell, you just go run our girl Joan Primary and use the support tree because it just got a lot tankier. So if you guys enjoyed this video, throw a thumbs up on here. Give it a like. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Hope you got a little bit out of this. And like I said, throw a like on here. Helps out the channel. Helps out the videos. And with that being said, we hope you have a great day, broskies.